I introduce you to Oliver and Denise Marcel. Hi, Oliver, Denise.
Yay.
Welcome to
Hi.
the program.
Thank
Thank
you
you.
so much. Such an
Thank you
honor
for
to be
having us.
here.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
It,
Thank
Honored to be here.
you.
it is a joy to have you on the program today. We got so much to talk about. So let's start off with, what led you both to start a marriage coaching business?
Hmm.
Wow. Well, that certainly was not in the cards for us when we got married. We never really thought that this was the journey that we were gonna be on. But sometimes, we would talk about something that happened in our marriage or just an incident or how we handled that incident, and
Mhm.
we would do that, and a lot of people would come up to us and say, man, thank you for showing us how to do that. We love your ministry. Thank you for talking about that. That really helped us. And we were like, this is not a ministry. This is not a ministry. This is just us being us
Trying to make
and
it.
trying to make it and showing people what we did to make it. And we said, you know what? People keep coming up to us and saying that to us. Maybe we should start a blog. And that's what we started doing. We just started blogging about things here and there, about stuff that we noticed and how we handled certain situations. And from there, it just blossomed into speaking engagements. And then we started a podcast. And then here we are today, coaching couples.
Yeah.
I have to ask you, how did you now in show prep we you shared that your business transitioned. It started more in the faith-based community, and then you were able to expand to
Mhm.
reach even a broader audience. Could you tell
Mhm.
us a little bit about that transition and whether it was a difficult one to make?
Yeah, it was to speak to the blog that Nisi just talked about. The name of it was Marriage is Our Ministry, because people had been telling us, hey, your marriage is a ministry. We love your ministry, that kind of thing. So we kind of stayed there. And then we were somewhat involved with the marriage ministries at our church. And when we first started getting speaking engagements, they were primarily for churches and that kind of thing. So we kind of stayed with that.
Mhm.
And then I was at the time working for a large corporation, and I sat down with the lead psychologist for that company and was just sharing with him, man, I would love to do what you do and speak to corporations and speak to various groups in the corporate space about communication skills and relationship building and all of that kind of stuff. And so I presented to him what we do, and he loved it. He was like, I love this. This is great. Got a question for you though. Is your audience going to be the faith-based audience? Because if that's the case,
Mm.
spot on. Keep pushing. Keep chugging along. If you're trying to transition to doing something like what I'm doing, it's going to be difficult. And he was like, I'm just being honest. It's going to be a little bit difficult to get into those spaces with the word ministry in your name.
Yeah.
So consider changing it. And so we sat on that for a while.
Mhm.
And then finally, we're like, you know what? Let's go ahead and change it. Because the thing was, we were like, and you can speak to this. I think the thing I grappled with was I don't want people to be like, because the faith based. Let's people who don't know me, your listeners will know that I'm an honest guy. Let's be honest.
Yeah, in this show, we keep it real on this show. Thank you very much. And most of us are listening. I don't think I'm appealing to the kids set. So we're all adults
Got you,
here.
got you. So and so the faith based community can be very judgmental.
Yeah.
Mm.
And I was like, well, I want to keep that community, but at the same time, I don't want people to be like, oh, well, he changing and he don't want to be associated with, God. And it was nothing like that. So we sat on it for a while, and then we were like, you know what? This changing our name has nothing to do with who
Our
we are as
identity.
people,
Yeah.
right? And who our character is. People know to this day, even with the name change, it is very clear everywhere I go that we are people of faith,
Mhm.
right? So we decided to go ahead and go with the name change, and that's a whole nother thing, how the name Denali came about. And so we decided to do that, and it's been fine. The transit, it honestly, and would you say I don't feel like it has been a transition except for what you see on the paperwork?
Right. Only on paper.
Yeah.
I don't think that it's been a difficult transition outside of that. Nothing actually has been difficult about it.
Yeah, because the concepts, the ideology behind what we teach,
Yeah.
the principles are the same,
Nothing has changed.
right?
Yeah.
Relationship building across the board is the same, whether in the corporate space or in the personal space. There's
Mhm.
some nuances, there are some components that are in both.
Yeah.
And so the only thing different, I would say, is that, you know, in the faith-based space, you have more liberty, obviously, to talk about spiritual and Christianity-based concepts that align with those components.
Yeah.
I think that's the only difference.